For me, from my project experience, I won't say that rural development and ICT is not two different things from two different poles. Rather, these two goes hand in hand very well. And I think we have already seen a couple of really good examples from the fields from Africa, from Asia, that how ICT is being used for enhancing the growth and productivity of these rural farmers. In fact, I'm very privileged that I got this chance to come here and share some of our experience back in Bangladesh, where we have tried to make very fruitful and meaningful use of different ICT technologies like mobile telephony and internet in facilitating easier access for easier access to information for these rural farmers. And I think the best part about ICT and rural development, while you merge these two topics, you can attain scale, which probably is not as easy as in the case of if you look at the value chain projects or business development services project. So I think, yeah, that's probably the key beauty of using ICT for rural economic development. It's apparent that ICT is creating a lot of tangible impact in the intended target group of all this donor community, and we have seen fantastic examples of piloting. But one thing that concerns me most is we are yet to see a lot of initiative on the part of these donors as well as on the part of these implementing agencies, that the success that had been attained over last couple of years in the field of ICT4D, we don't see a lot of initiatives taken for replicating the success stories. In fact, as I was telling in my presentation yesterday, that we come across a lot of conferences and seminars where we see all these implementing agencies as well as donors coming and taking a lot of pride in their innovations in the field of ICT4D. But as of now, I haven't come across a lot of initiatives where these successful piloting and these innovations were taken into consideration for replicating in other countries or in other regions or continents. So I think that is something which needs to be taken up seriously by the donor committee and different implementing agencies. And I think it will not probably happen automatically. There has to be strategic thinking in the part of all these donors to have a very clearly articulated strategy for replicating the success stories they have already have. So I think that is something which probably requires a lot of attention from the part of donors. Yeah, one of the key messages that I would like to bring onto the table is there had been a lot of hype regarding this ICT4D from its very beginning back in late 90s and early 2000s, and there had been a decline in the interest of all these donors since 2005-06, because probably the donors were not finding it useful, or they were not getting the things they usually look for this kind of development cooperation. And one of the reasons I think what worked behind this decline of interest on the part of these donors is probably not having a very robust and proper monitoring and result measurement system, which basically generates all the required numbers and figures that are usually asked by these donors. So I think, yeah, we have a lot of challenges in terms of monitoring the results of this kind of ICT related projects. So I think this is something which needs to be discussed a lot more, and it needs to be discussed on the table, because what we usually do in this kind of conference is we come and talk about those new innovations and good things. We never discuss about the challenges we are facing in capturing or documenting all the impacts that are being created by this kind of projects. So I think that is the message I would like to bring onto the table, that MRM or monitoring and results measurement is one issue we need to focus really on, so that at the end of the day these our intended target beneficiary groups are benefiting, and we have a proper mechanism to capture and document all these impacts, which satisfies all these donors so that these donors can also explain to their taxpayers that their money is being spent for the right cause in a right way at the right place. ICT has already demonstrated that it can bring in a lot of positive changes in the life of those marginal, rural, poor people. So I think if effectively and properly utilized, in 20 years time, we will see that this digital divide is no longer there, and these developing countries are also progressing maybe somehow to cope up with all these developed countries. Right. Regarding the role of private sector in ICT4D related project, I think the experience from Bangladesh that I have, private sector is playing a tremendous role. Like there had been experiences from other neighboring countries from South Asia, where we have seen that one of the biggest problems they have in deploying this infrastructure for ICT is a major challenge. But in the case of Bangladesh, what we have seen is all these private sector telecom operators has invested their own money for laying this nationwide network and for this entire infrastructure. So I think if private sector hadn't played this role in deploying this ICT infrastructure in Bangladesh, then probably harnessing the benefit of ICT for these victims of digital divide wouldn't have been possible. So I think that's a very critical and important thing. And for a developing country like Bangladesh, I don't think government can afford to spend this amount of money for deploying this kind of infrastructure. So I think this is a key issue that needs to be taken stock of, and I think if a proper business case can be shown, private sectors are there to cooperate with different kind of development programs for benefiting all this rural population.